Welcome to Well, That Just Happened. I'm your host, Cody Spence.
And I'm your co-host, Mark Hawk.
This is a podcast about, well, do you want to tell them, Mark?
Yeah, so this is a podcast that takes a look at news stories from around the world.
Some that shock us, some that have us asking what just happened, and some that we just found interesting.
So if you like the show, please subscribe and leave a review.
We're on YouTube and any other podcast platform.
And with that being said, all that's left is, let's see what's happening this season.
Alright, so, some of the news stuff that I found this week, it's not necessarily kind of like laugh out loud funny, but it's more along the lines of, I think we could have fun discussing them. Okay, so the first one that I found, I'll read you the headline. Frisky couple filmed breaking into closed cinema and romping in front of big screen.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so, I just want to make sure I get the location correct. Alright, this was in St. Petersburg. This was over in Russia. So what happened is these two individuals, they broke into a movie theater, they stole popcorn and drinks and all that, took it into the cinema, and proceeded to fool around in the front row right in front of the big screen.
Were they intoxicated?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if they weren't, then, I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, so they were intoxicated, and the thing about it was, there was security camera footage, and it, live streams what's going on, so them fooling around, getting frisky in the front row, live streamed up to the servers, the security and everything, but not only that, the image, the video got leaked.
Gee, I wonder how.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, the security guard was like, oh, Pornhub, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of the story. I mean, they weren't caught. The only thing is...
Oh, they didn't even catch him?
No. But with them screwing around like that, it actually broadcasted into a couple of the other theaters.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it was just the security guard's like, oh, everyone needs to see this, and just shot it out to display on the monitors.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Now, in a situation like this, and, I don't know if you get money for posting that shit to Pornhub because it's free to look at or whatever.
I'm sure there's monetization just like with YouTube.
Okay, but I was just wondering, can you make money off of showing other people having sex?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, without their permission.
Oh, no, that's illegal.
Okay. That's where I'm going with it. It's one thing to post a video of two people going at it, but without their permission, I didn't know how the monetization of that would work.
Yeah, so that's illegal. But one thing they could do is, not like I'm going to give out any pointers, but another thing that they could also say is, hey, they came into our property, they consumed our popcorn, our drinks, and they were on the premise, so that this footage is ours.
Oh, yeah, that is very true. They could do that.
Because, I mean, or they can have a sit-down meeting, and they can, talk to them like Goodfellas, you come here to my theater, and you splooge all over. But in the article...
I think you're thinking of Godfather.
Yeah, Godfather.
Goodfellas is a little different movie.
But yeah, so it did make me laugh in the article, though. It said, the dude who owns the cinema was like, hey, at least they cleaned up after themselves.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, there was no...
Okay, so for me, for him sticking up for him like that, it's like, okay, you broke into my theater. I'm mad. I'm going to call the cops, man. I mean, not. And then he watched it, and then, yeah, he was a little going to town on it a little bit. And he's like, you know what? No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
They cleaned up.
Yeah, and like you said, that part to me was the one that was the funniest. Just because, the way in the article they just kept saying, at least they cleaned up after themselves.
I mean, if you're sticking up for him, then I guess it's okay.
Okay. So, the next one. Parking while poor. Complex says it tows cars for being unsightly. Okay.
Whoa.
So, this is over in Westwood, Ohio.
Really? Ohio?
Yeah.
You don't even have to have inspection? Anything.
Yeah, Westwood, Ohio, and the place is Montana Valley Apartments. So what happened was this guy, um, Dallas Days, I think was his name. Oh, Dennis Days. I'm sorry. His 2001 Honda. He parked out in one of the parking spots, and he went inside to go see his buddy. I think he said he was dropping off a couple boxes or something, and he comes back out to his car, and there's a note on there saying that your car is unsightly. It doesn't fit with our standards for our apartment complex. If it's not moved within 24 hours, it will be towed.
Wow. That is like some just ignorance.
Well, that's one of the ones I thought we could have a really good discussion about, because
I mean, can you really do that?
yeah, they can do that one because
discriminating against you because you're poor.
He's not a resident.
Yeah, okay, but can they do that to a resident?
If it's part of their contract or whatever that they sign when they become a tenant.
Really? They're gonna sign a contract. You're not allowed to be poor.
You, it was in here. It was because there was also photos in the article, which I'll post them to go with the article. But there was photos to go with like the cars around, and then it showed the Honda sitting there. There's like a Bentley parked next to it.
Oh, so it's like high end.
Yeah, it's high end.
So there wasn't gonna be any poor tenants.
No.
I got you.
And like this dude's, it's a blue Honda, and the hood smashed up, the doors bent, busted in, and yeah, it just looking at it, you're like, yeah, I kind of get it.
I still think that's messed up. You can't discriminate against people for being poor.
It's not. They're discriminating against the car, not the person.
Kind of.
They're like, hey, your car sucks. Get a new one. Or don't come around. You can park around the block and walk up the premise. That's fine.
See, that's just wrong.
It's about like, appearances, though.
You can't be here because you on the welfare. That's not fair. It's just not right. You can't do that to people.
I thought it was pretty funny. And
you would. But see, I guess the thing I have against it is when I was younger, man, I had some unsightly cars. I mean, I used to have a booger green Buick. My first car ever was a 78 booger green Buick.
That sucks. That's gross.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
And I just wanted to double check. There was a spot in the article where like somebody, like one of the people who was like reporting it or whatever. It was like, what if somebody gets a flat tire? And the management was like, 24 hours, get it out of here.
Wow.
I think that's absolutely hilarious.
That's just wrong.
I say what you want. I think it's funny.
Okay.
Okay. So here's another one. The other article that I found. Parents told not to wear miniskirts and low-cut tops on school.
Oh, wait.
On a school run. Yes, parents. You're hearing that correctly. Parents. Not the kids. Parents, when they come to pick up their kids, to not dress provocatively.
I mean, how are we supposed to know if there's a MILF or not?
This is at Seymour Primary in Crawley in West Sussex. So, there was a letter that was sent out to the parents of the kids of this primary school, pretty much saying, don't dress provocatively. So what happened is some parents, there was a woman who came to pick up her child and was wearing a see-through miniskirt and a pretty much see-through crop top, and she walked right into the school showing everybody.
Spank bank material for a teenager. It's important.
But you can't do that around kids.
I don't know. I'd be like, hey, son, did you get her number for me?
But, and it wasn't, like, they can't wear any tight form-fitting clothes, so, like, yoga pants and stuff like that, they're not allowed to drop their kids off or pick them up in.
Okay, now you're just pushing it too far.
Yeah, that one I kind of felt very passionate about. Like, yeah, the yoga pants are my kryptonite. They're like, don't. I'll take that away. However, at a school setting, I don't think it's appropriate.
No. Yoga pants, don't even go there. Like, see-through stuff, I get. Yoga pants, I mean, I get it sometimes. I ain't blind, but I can read their lips. I get what you're saying, but yeah, like, you just can't push it too far.
Yeah, but that, like you said, that one to me was just more like the outrageousness. Like, I guess the part I'm most baffled by is that the school had to send a letter home to the parents telling them, giving them a dress code, essentially.
Okay, all I'm gonna say on that subject is there was an ugly principal involved. It had to be.
um. Okay, and the last one that I found, this one, drunk driver allegedly caught doing burnouts above Streets Police Station. Okay, so this one was in. No, where was it? This one was uh, in Hidley Street, and looks like South Carolina.
See, that's funny to me because I had a friend who we were at a bar, or I guess I wasn't there that night, but yeah, he did a burnout after he got drunk and hit a pole and got busted for a DUI.
Okay, so the way this place was set up, it's a parking garage kind of setup. It's in a car park. So you got the police station down at the bottom, then like up higher is the car park, like where people go in to park their cars and everything. So this dude got wasted, got in his car there, and just started driving around doing donuts above a freaking police station.
That's awesome.
And like even the cops were like, they came out, his shift ended or something. He walked outside, he saw all the smoke, so they kind of followed it. And there's this dude just doing donuts. So needless to say, he got arrested. He blew .12.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he was
good
double the legal limit.
Not quite.
Yeah, you're right.
It's .16 if it's double the legal limit.
This was a 42-year-old man. Yeah, and he got his license suspended right there on the spot for 6 months, and his car has been impounded for 28 days.
Oh, wow.
He's also being charged with operating a motor vehicle under the use of alcohol and misuse of a motor vehicle.
See, I feel like they repeat themselves sometimes when they give charges.
Well, the thing about it is they want to hit you with so many charges, so at least one sticks.
I get it, but yeah, sometimes they just take it too far.
So, what do you think? Would you have the balls to do that? Because to me, that's almost the same as
not with a BAC of .16. I mean, you give me a 2.3, hey, we're talking.
I mean, so
I can do it then.
In my mind, I'm thinking, why? Just why?
Because they could. I mean, they got away with it for a minute. They got busted later, but that's a story to tell people for years.
Oh yeah, well, in my mind too, I'm thinking like when he gets put in his jail cell, they're like, "Oh, what are you here for?" I did donuts up there.
Yeah. All right. So this week I got some different kind of news stories for you.
All right.
All right. The first one: a plane was forced to make an emergency landing after a cat attacked a pilot.
What?
So, all right.
Oh, wait, aren't they kept like in the cock, like below, like down in?
See, that's the thing. This cat didn't belong to any passenger.
So was it a part of the crew?
No, it was a stray that got on the plane.
I thought we had like high intense security.
This isn't America.
Okay.
It was Malaysia. But so what happened was this cat, got on the plane, was like a stowaway. So they get up at cruising altitude about a half hour, an hour into the flight, and the cat goes into the cockpit and starts scratching and attacking the pilot. And then, the crew tried to wrangle the cat and couldn't do it, so it forced him to make an emergency landing. And it said there was no reported... They didn't report how much, injuries the pilot had, but yeah, just that the cat attacked the pilot.
I feel like it's kind of like one of those disclaimers they used to put in like commercial movies, like there were no animals harmed in the making of this. Like I feel like that should have been a follow up, like, hey, the cat wasn't harmed. We can't find the cat, but it wasn't harmed. When secretly it's stuck in the suitcase.
See, and I just look at it like this: like, say you're driving down the road. I mean, this guy's just sitting there, hour into the flight, and then you just happen to look over and see an animal, and it just lunges at you and starts attacking you. Like, what do you do?
That's like freaking like Looney Tunes or like Family Guy.
Yeah,
Like Family Guy. There was an episode of American Dad where Steve found a cat that got hit by a car, and he just wanted to nurse it back to the house, and every time it did, he was wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man, what I would do in a situation like that. And I mean, they didn't hurt the cat; just tried to corral him. When they couldn't, they just had to make an emergency landing.
So I feel like with that, it's kind like I feel like that would be like the cat could just kind of like just starts out with the little baby swats. You just what? How'd a cat get in here? And then the stewardess or whoever the co-pilot tries to wrangle it, and then it like runs away. But then I feel like that cat's like, oh, we're playing a game, and keeps coming back, and then just starts getting more violent and more vicious. And at some point, I think it would have been really funny if the pilot would have got over the intercom and been like, someone come get this pussycat.
Yeah. I mean, to me, though, you gotta figure, like, if it happened in your vehicle, you could slam on the brakes, get it out of the car, or something. You're talking 30,000 feet in the air,
Yeah.
and you're getting attacked. I mean, that's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
So, yeah, I definitely feel like that would be a scary situation.
Hey, in hindsight, though, at least, if we were in a car, more than likely you're going to start swerving all over the road. And so in the air, if you start swerving, the most you're going to have coming from, like, back in coach, you're going to have someone going, this pilot's a jackass.
Yeah. Or, like, them oxygen masks dropping, and they're like, what's going on?
and then it gets revealed afterward, everyone's getting off the plane, you see the pilot carrying out this cat.
Can you imagine, though? Having to get off a flight and grounded an hour in just because a cat was on there.
I would be so infuriated.
Oh, I definitely would be too.
And then, so like, say you're flying across country or to wherever for maybe a job interview, or you're relocating, or you're visiting family. When you get there, you'd be like, so what happened? There was a cat on the plane. They're gonna look at you and go, no.
Yeah,
you're full of it.
All right, the next one of my favorites that I've found so far. Florida man arrested for attempting to barbecue child molesters.
Oh my God. How? Why? Well, all right. I get the why.
It's Florida.
So that's what I mean. I understand there's a lot of interesting stories that come out of Florida, but I need to know why, how. And I mean, okay, so you're saying barbecue. In my mind, I'm thinking he has, kissed the chef apron on a grill, and he's chops a child molester up, and he's flipping the barbecue sauce on.
It's a little different than that. So what happened was, he goes to this hotel, the Friendly Village Inn and Motel, and he runs into these two convicted child molesters. He starts pouring gasoline on the door with cigarette in hand.
Wow.
And then, as he's trying to light them on fire, they climb out the back window, and it doesn't end there. He finds two more in a car and starts ramming it with his Ford Focus when the cops show up.
Okay, you can't do that.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. So yeah, he was trying to light them on fire, and then when the other two were in a vehicle and wouldn't get out, yeah, because he tried to pour gasoline inside the vehicle too and torch them that way. And then when they roll up the window, yeah, he just got in his Ford Focus and started ramming them.
It's kind of like he's like, well, this isn't working. I'm bad at this part, so let's try this.
But I mean,
you said a Focus?
Yes.
That's not a good battery ram.
Yeah, it's like getting in your car.
Yeah.
And trying to ram somebody else's car.
I'm afraid I hit a chicken and my car's done.
Yeah, basically. So
that's something.
I mean, I've never heard of that where he just right to the hotel, dumping gasoline on the door and trying to light it on fire with a cigarette.
Did it say like how he knew they were convicted sex offenders, or were they just like sitting in the lobby like, hey, you know what I did this one summer? Like,
I'm guessing it's one of those places that like kind of. I mean, it said it was like a village inn and motel, but it could be like one of them places, like a halfway house where they
Okay.
put convicted. Because they did say the two were convicted. The other two, I don't know what made them think that they were child molesters because it didn't say that they were convicted.
Mm.
But nonetheless, he was trying to light them all on fire.
Wow.
And torch them. So I'm just wondering, in that case, if one of his family members might have been molested or something like that, and he just had a bone to pick and wanted to light them on fire.
You know, maybe it could have also been he was a victim of himself at one point in time, and you would say he feels very strongly against that stuff and wanted to play vigilante.
Okay. But if you're the two guys, like the two guys inside, they were definitely convicted child molesters. I get trying to light them on fire. It's whatever. But if you're the two people in the parking lot, say you're just going there to buy drugs, you hop in the guy's car. He's trying to sell you a couple joints, and next thing you know, this crazy guy comes up and starts pouring gasoline in and trying to kill you for no reason. And then when that doesn't work, he just starts ramming you with his Focus. I mean, where is your mind at in that situation?
I think I would look at the person over there after screaming and trying to figure it out. I'd be like, do we know this guy?
That's a definitely crazy situation.
Yeah.
All right.
That's something.
The next one I got is a little, I don't know, I was like kind of like creeped out by it. All right. So a woman swallowed by 23-foot python found undigested inside its stomach, still fully clothed.
That is my worst nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
I scream at garden snakes.
Oh, yeah. This 23-foot long python. Now,
No.
I don't know what you know about snakes.
That they're unnatural little creatures that should not exist.
But pythons are like constrictors.
Yeah.
So, they kind of wind around you, and as they're crushing you, and then they just...
Ah.
Yeah. So, okay. So the night before, she left a tender garden about a half mile from her house. When she didn't return by sunrise, her sister went to look for her. Then, about 100 yards from the house, they found her belongings. It was like her sandals, a machete, and like a light.
What's she doing with a machete?
I don't know. I mean...
She playing Rambo in the neighborhood? Like, what?
Well, there was like some other animals around there.
For self-defense?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But, I mean, obviously you don't expect to see that.
Obviously she could have freaking used it.
They sent a search party out, and then they found her belongings, and about 100 feet away, they found a 23-foot snake coiled up and with an enlarged belly. So they took it back to the village, or they killed it, took it back to the village, cut it open, and found her inside. And she wasn't digested yet. She was dead, but yeah, fully clothed, like everything, but... So, imagine this. You're going out to tend to your garden. I don't know why you do it at night. But it must have been evening time right before it got dark. But they didn't start looking for it till sunrise. And then, they formed a search party when they couldn't find her. Because, they found her belongings just laying there by her garden. And, I mean, just imagine being this lady, though. You're walking to your garden, thinking you're going to run into some rodents, so you brought your machete along to protect yourself, and then a 23-foot python attacks you.
That's like I said, that is one of my worst nightmares. Because say she's getting, do you because there's so many things that I'm curious about. Okay, do you think, did she die from being constricted? Like, did it collapse her lungs and stuff? She couldn't breathe and suffocated?
They didn't say, like, her cause of death, just that she was found inside the snake.
God forbid that she survived the crushing and then got swallowed and was alive inside the snake.
See, I don't think so. I think the python would, constrict you, and then, I think that's how it consumes you, though. After it constricts you, breaks all your bones, then yeah, like as it's wrapped around you and then right on your head, and then it just swallows you whole.
This makes me never want to go outside ever again.
This again was not in the U.S.
I don't care.
This was like in the Philippines, but
There's pythons here.
I don't think that big.
I see some pretty big freaking snakes at zoos.
I mean, it reminds me of the movie Anaconda.
Yeah!
You know?
I watched that when I was like 7 years old. That screwed me up!
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was not...
Don't like snakes, I don't like clowns. I'm just saying, those are my two worst fears. That movie, dude, that screwed me up.
Alright. We'll move on to the last one. Okay. A Texas man arrested for plotting to murder and cannibalize underage girl.
Oh my god.
So, 21-year-old Alexander Barter posted on the dark web that he wanted to let someone perform unspeakable crimes on them. And what happened was there was like an agent, pretending to be a guy and sell their daughter to him. Mm-hmm. So he planned to rape, kill, and eat the man's daughter. And his post said he wanted to commit necrophilia and cannibalism on them. So, why are you trying to have sex with a corpse and then eat it?
To see what you taste like? I don't know.
It's a little...
It's too much.
Yeah, I
mean... It's a
mean,
little over the top.
Oh, you should see the guy's picture. You would understand.
Okay. So, first thing with this, don't go on the dark web. It's monitored very often.
Yeah, I mean, they did say that they sell a lot of drugs on there. They're selling negative COVID-19 tests for $25 a piece right now.
Oh, my.
And they're running a buy two, get one free special.
But yeah, so that's a lot. That's crazy.
I do feel like he went overboard.
A little bit. Okay, so that's... I think it would make my stomach turn even trying to type those words.
I mean, yeah.
But who types that and looks at it and goes, this could get me some attention right here. I'm gonna get what I want. who typed that messed up conversation that they want to start and they go, yeah, that's the one. That's what I post.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to touch more on this in the wrap-up.
In our weekly wrap-up, we discuss some of our personal opinions and ideas. So let's see what we thought this week.
Okay. Alright, so this week in the wrap-up, I want to touch a little bit more on the last story we talked about with the guy who wanted to rape, murder, necrophilia, and eat the corpse. Like, I feel like you're asking a lot.
I feel like it's a poorly typed Craigslist ad, too.
Yeah, well, and having correspondent with the federal agent, and, he basically thought he was talking to a man who was going to sell the daughter to him. And he asked, can we kill her? Like, I mean, how do you ask someone's father, hey, is it okay if I rape, murder your daughter, and then eat her?
I don't know, but I would love to say I've never heard of something like this before, but that would be a lie, because there was I've listened to so many podcasts about serial killers and all this other kind of stuff, watched so many documentaries that they kind of get jumbled together. But if I'm not mistaken, there was one who put like a Craigslist ad up looking for somebody to murder and eat.
Oh, wow.
And I want to say it was on the documentary Don't F with Cats. I want to say that was the one. But they videotaped the entire thing.
Oh.
And that's pretty... Okay. When they did this, and then as they videotaped it, they ended up posting it online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I want to say it was the documentary Don't F for Cats. I could be wrong, it's on Netflix. It's a very good documentary. I'd highly recommend it. Little warning, there's a murder. But so that's why it's kind of hard. Like, but there's so many issues with this guy posting it on the dark web. Like, okay, the gall to have that conversation. I'm a father. You're a father. Fathering instinct. First off, as a father, I'm not getting on the dark web. I don't even want to take a glance around just in the off chance that I get on some terrible thing and then I can't be like, oh, I didn't know. Because to get to the dark web, there's so much that you have to do.
Oh, yeah. That's what they said. It's like you can't just go to like a search engine and just be like, hey, dark web.
No, you need like specific equipment and stuff to be able to get you access to it. But yeah, with so I am curious though. What kind of meal did he have planned? Because is he thinking, get some steaks? Is he thinking make Chinese food?
See, I'm not sure on that. I mean,
stir fry. Stir fry is what I mean by Chinese food. I had to clarify because in my head it was Chinese food like for stir fry because stir fry's good and you can chop up the tiny little pieces and that way you get to save body parts longer and make more
soup.
That's that.
Like little meat cubes. See,
that's so messed up. Cause I've been having cabbage soup today and it is a little pink.
Yeah, see, little meat cubes. It'd be all right. The only thing to me is, I get you're on the dark web and all that, but to try to think you're talking to someone's father about buying their daughter and murdering her and telling them, not that I just want to buy your daughter, I'm going to rape her, have sex with her corpse, and then consume her.
You know who I think would have been okay with that? Casey Anthony.
Poor Casey. Doesn't get a stimulus check. All right. And then, did you want to touch a little more on the snake story, Cody? Because we know you love snakes now.
Okay, so snakes are something that utterly terrify me. And one of the main reasons is because I understand the biological makeup of a snake, but in my mind, something that doesn't have hands and feet should not be able to move that quickly.
Well, the thing is, you grab their tail, they can always coil around.
Yeah, because they attack you. It's a liquidated spine. It's completely unnatural. They should not. Okay, so I was doing yard work a couple years ago, and I cut down a couple trees, and there was like a little gardener stake in one of the bushes, and I'm picking up brush, I'm throwing it on the bonfire, and as soon as I reached down, I saw this little black snake. The noise that came out of me was so ungodly,
feminine.
I didn't know I can get to that level of pitch. What? And that also followed with me skipping across the yard to the end of my property line, staring at it, and going, no, 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 no. As I'm doing this, my neighbors are outside, and they have young kids. They have kids that are like around my kid's age at this time, which would have been like 3, 4, and all they saw was a grown man move a thing of brush, scream at a level that could have made dog's ears perk up. And then I ran across the yard over towards their property line, screaming even more, yelling, no, 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 no. And they're giggling, and I looked over and go, it's not funny. That could have killed me. And then I go over and look. It's a tiny little gardener about this big. I had no reason to be terrified, but I absolutely was. So when you say this story about the anaconda, that terrifies me.
I've never... Okay, the biggest python I've saw is about 6 or 7 feet long, like in person.
Mm-hmm.
23.
Okay, so there was a dude I used to know. He used to collect reptiles and keep them in his garage. That was his thing. Stupid. He had his whole garage. And he had all these cases all over the place. He had constrictors. He had a freaking cobra. He had an alligator, all living in his garage. And his elderly mom was living at this house too. And he had a habit of leaving the door open. Well, guess what? The alligator got out and was roaming around their town. Okay, so that is also a fear of mine.
The alligators in the sewers?
Just alligators, period. I grew up in Florida. So
yeah.
that's... I'm used to alligators just... I remember going to ride my bike down at the end of the road and an alligator just chilling on the side of the road. But still, we're up north. That's down south. They should not be around up here in the middle of our podunk little town area. You go outside to let your dog out. You let out little Fluffy, little poodle, and you see an alligator come across the yard. Nah, I'm out. Good luck, Fluffy. See ya.
I remember taking a walk in Florida really, really drunk one night, coming back from the hotel. Like, I didn't know there was a store down this way 2 minutes to get a pack of cigarettes, and I walked like a mile this way, and on my way back I saw a really cool looking snake. So I actually stopped, went over top of it to take a picture of it. I could have got bit. Really drunk, didn't think of it.
Yeah. So when we talk about this anaconda thing, or the python, I wouldn't think... In my mind, I would not think of, I'm going to go out and mess with my garden, that's something that's going to cross my mind. But what I'm curious about is, was it, like, just in her yard? Or did she maybe see something and kind of went over to it, left all of her stuff there, and was just kind of, like, thinking, oh, maybe it's like a raccoon or something like that?
I would think it caught her by surprise, because I'm sorry. If I see a 23-foot snake, I know I'm not outrunning it.
No.
And I got a machete. Yeah, I might die still, but I'm going to go down fighting. You know?
It's okay, Rambo.
That's right. Now, the next thing I want to touch on is back to this freaking car and not being able to park it in the ritzy neighborhood. Like, you know, I get what you're saying, or what you had said, how, you know, he doesn't live there, so they have that right. But, I mean... I know a bunch of families that financial range from here to there, and it's all over the place. Yeah. So, like, basically, you're going to discriminate against your tenants' families when they come to visit because they might have a poor family member.
I love the term, you know, parking while poor.
Yeah, exactly.
PWP. Love it.
Okay. But like I said, I mean, how would you feel if they were like, "Oh, you can't have your family here because they're too
Thank
poor
you. You
for
gave
us."
me an excuse to tell them not to come over. Hey, my landlord says if you come over, you're gonna get towed. Sorry.
Okay. Now, what if you were tapping a broke woman? You know,
I'll pick her up.
I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to worry about her staying past her welcome. Besides the point. But yeah, to me, I just feel like you should not be able to discriminate against somebody for how much money they have. Like, that's just, I don't know, it's wrong. I mean, as far as just parking their car.
Okay, so I can agree with that to a point, because it's not like he did anything in the wrong. It's not like he parked there and then left for a week or something.
Or got out and put his hat on the ground and started dancing around saying, "Give me money," or something like that. Yeah. There was no, I just don't get it.
But I think, I don't know, like, with that side of the argument, I can get it. I can kind of understand. However, I will say that for that kind of community, if they want to, when it comes to a business, you're allowed to operate the business or manage your property any way that you want to. That is your legal right by owning that property, by owning that business. So if you have a policy in place, it's obviously he knows somebody in the building, so he would know about the policy. If it is a true policy. Now, if it's, they just didn't like Dennis, and they're like, hey, your car sucks, we don't want you here.
I mean, I guess, if you're putting it in that perspective, maybe I can somewhat see. I just don't think it's wrong, and that whoever owns the place is kind of a dick. That's my personal opinion on it.
But yeah, I don't know. like, for me, it's kind of, I just find it so funny that somebody feels so passionate about the way that their building looks to the outside world, like they're going to have poor people towed.
All right. And then I guess, back to the article about the people in the theater. I mean, I just don't understand how the guy, after, you're in that business to make money. They're stealing your stuff, man. They're getting free drinks, free popcorn. I mean, I guess you're happy they're not trashing the place, but to defend them to the cops and be like, well, at least they cleaned up. That to me is
but
a little weird.
Like you said in the article, they talked about how they went back and got themselves multiple different helpings, and they went in. I see my big thing, because they didn't say. I don't know if they watched a movie.
I don't see how you can, because you got to have the projector guy or woman put the movie on for you to watch it. So
unless they just took their phone up there and streamed a movie like a Netflix and chill situation, but in the theater.
See, I was just wondering, but yeah, what makes you even drunk to think this is a good idea? Let's break into this theater, steal some popcorn and drinks, and have sex in the front row. And then, I mean, obviously they took more than one, because after they got the first drink, I mean, I would want a refill of a drink after I have sex.
At that point too, in my mind, all right, use the old expression, in for a penny, in for a pound. You already broke in. You already stole popcorn. You already stole drinks. You went and fooled around in the theater. Yeah, I'm going to go back and get more. I mean, what's worse that's going to happen? They're going to charge me twice for popcorn. Movie theater popcorn is awesome.
And expensive.
It's way too expensive. I fully understand taking advantage of being able to get as much popcorn as you want. But I would have been.
When you actually go to the theater and pay, a lot of places, if you purchase the large popcorn and a large drink, you do get a refill.
Yeah, I know, but I'm too lazy and I'm not going to get out of the movie.
I don't do.
I don't want to leave the movie to go get more refill, especially if it's a climactic moment. And think of I don't know, say you're watching a Marvel movie or something in the theater where there's a lot of crap going on. You're going to go out, go get your refill of popcorn, you're going to come back in and you're going to hear, oh yeah, that person died. What? And then I'm not going to eat that popcorn.
Yeah, they need a button.
Mm-hmm.
When you
pause
need something. I'm just saying, hey dude, come in and change my stuff out.
If they delivered from the concession stand into the audience, you know how much money they would probably make?
There is places that do that.
Really?
I mean, well, I guess when you order a pretzel or nachos or something like that, if they don't have it done now, they'll bring it into you while the movie's playing.
But I think it'd be cool if you had we're in 2021. If we ever get to go to theaters and stuff again, but if they had an app,
they do have theaters open.
Are they open?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just went and saw the new Tom and Jerry movie in the theater.
I have to look into that. But yeah, say you have an app and you're in the movie theater, you just open up the app and place your order, they just run it into you.
I think it would be way better, and I just feel like that's where they make all their money, because they know you're not going to leave the movie to go back and get a damn refill.
Yeah, then you could even have say the first row is row A and you're in seat 5. So A5, put your seat in A5, order a refill of large popcorn.
Yeah. You know what? I wonder if they do to-go cups. You know what I mean? What, you pay for it and they say you get a refill. Can you get it after the movie's over and on your way out the door?
I don't know, but I feel when all right, this movie's the next showing's supposed to be at 7 o'clock. We came in at 5. It's 6:45. I'm gonna run out and get refills real quick. And then the credits end up rolling. Right by the time you get back in, you got it right under the wire.
Sure. Yeah.
There's always a way.
Loopholes.
Well, that just happened.
If you like what you heard, tune in next week to see what else we find.
Also, please leave a review. a like, and subscribe.
If there's something you think is interesting and would like us to address, then reach out to the show and let us know.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much anywhere you want to reach us.
And with that being said, this concludes our episode of Well, That Just Happened.